Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Nutmeg Sports. It's a Tuesday edition here on the HAN Network. Donald Eng is the gentleman right over there. I am just merely Rob Adams. Happy to have you along. A rainy day outside, and well, because it's not baseball and there is no lightning knock on countertops, they will, in all likelihood, play everything today, Don.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the fall sports. They're either indoors or they play on. As long as there's no lightning strikes, we're going to have some results to talk about. And we've got some results today to talk about.
We do have some things to talk about today. We've got some brackets to look at and jump into. We can also recap some of the scores from yesterday, as there was a busy day. Some good wins throughout the FCAC and really throughout the state as well.
It's really a great time of year. The fall sport playoff season is just a lot of fun. A lot of different sports. There's really something for everyone. And the great thing is also, the games keep coming. There's always another game to talk about.
There is always another game. And we decided we'd jump into the schedule and have a look at things going on in Class XXL girls soccer to get things going, Don. And games taking place, in fact, yesterday throughout Class XXL. So we'll run them down as quickly as we can, and we'll kind of keep moving through this edition of the program, as that's kind of the way today will go. And we start, as I said, in Double L. And for Darien, they get a 2-1 victory in the Double L bracket, but they now have to face the top seed, Glastonbury. Again, this is girls soccer. And for the Blue Wave, Katie Donovan, 8 saves, and for the Blue Wave, actually, Katie Ramsey. It was a big Katie day. Katie Ramsey and Katie Cronin with goals, and like I said, top-seeded Glastonbury tomorrow.
Tough matchup for the Wave. Glastonbury 16-0. They're also the defending champion on the boys and girls side of soccer. They play soccer up north.
Yeah, they really do, and they'll get the winner of Greenwich and Conard. Greenwich got a 2-1 win over Cheshire in the first round, while Conard a 1-0 victory over South Windsor. So an 8-24 matchup. I mean, if Darien can pull it off, if Greenwich can pull it off, you got an all-FCAC quarterfinal game.
You would, and that's a part of the beauty also of the tournaments is, with these one-and-done. Cheshire, Greenwich was the 8 seed, defeated number 25 Cheshire, but on the other side of the bracket, Conard, the 24 seed, knocked off the 9 seed. So yes, the Conard Greenwich winner will face the winner of Glastonbury and Darien. That game will be on November 13th at the higher ranked seed.
Shelton is the number 4 seed. They got a bye, so they will take on number 20 Simsbury, who beat Newtown 3-2 yesterday. We drop down to New Milford. They have a bye as the 5 seed, and they will get number 12 Mercy, a 3-1 winner over Manchester in the opening round. Newington also a bye. They are the number 2 seed. They will get the Wilton Warriors, who beat the West Hill Vikings in an all-FCAC showdown. Ali Dejano with the lone goal. 1-0 Wilton over West Hill, so the Warriors will now play Newington in a 15-2 matchup, and one thing we know about Wilton is they know a thing or two about soccer there.
They do. Wilton with a decent season, 10-6-1 right now. Newington 15-1. But as always, it's a tough Wilton team coming off a tough FCAC schedule. Yeah, you never want to count them out.
Dave Stewart was tweeting away from yesterday's 23-10 matchup between New Canaan and Amity, and ultimately it turns out to be a victory for the New Canaan Rams as they win on penalty kicks. And in fact, it was Katie Donovan making 8 saves in overtime, and they now get number 7 Middletown in the next round. So good win for the Rams, but they went through the double OT, they went to PKs, and 10-8 was the final.
Right, and that was a 23-10 game. 2 overtimes and penalty kicks. Just goes to show you these teams are very evenly matched when you get to tournament time. Just looking down a little bit farther down, you have Fairfield Ward with the bye, the 3 seed. They will play Trumbull. So a lot of these FCAC teams are going to be matching up against each other. Ward will be playing Hall.
Right.
Hall defeated Trumbull 2-1 in another double overtime game. Ridgefield will have a bye into the second round where they will play Ludlow. Ludlow in an 11-22 matchup with a big win, 6-1 over E.O. Smith. So it would be Ward and Hall, Ridgefield and Ludlow playing each other on tomorrow. The Ridgefield-Ludlow game at 4, Ward versus Hall at 5 at the higher seeds. So that would be Ward and Ridgefield hosting second-round games.
And it happens also quickly, not only tomorrow with the second rounds, then you got the semis on the 13th, which is Friday. Then the next round, the semis come on the 16th and 17th, with the championships being played on the 20th and 21st. Sites, according to the CIAC, have yet to be determined. That could be a good one. Ridgefield and Fairfield-Ludlow in that 11-6 matchup. And, of course, Ridgefield just won the FCAC championship, so could be a good one.
It could be. And, there really are no bad games. Once you get to the second round of the state playoffs, everyone can play. So it's just going to be a matter of who's a better team on that given day. And, let's roll the balls out and let's play.
Let's roll over. See what I did there? Over to Class L, Don, and why don't you get us started? We've got St. Joe's right at the very top.
St. Joseph, the number 1 seed with a record of 16-0. They will take on Sacred Heart Academy. The what are they? The Pacers?
Sacred Heart?
The Pacers.
Oh gosh, no, they're not.
Oh no.
I'll think about it. Go.
Okay.
Go.
Sacred Heart Academy defeated Daniel Hand 2-1 in a 16-17 matchup.
Don is right.
Am I right?
The Pacers.
All right. So
right.
That was a 16-17. That was an all-SCC matchup. We do get one of those SCC FCAC crossover games in the second round that we love so much. Also, Farmington 4-0. Laurelton Hall defeated Rockville 6-1. So St. Joseph and Sacred Heart Academy, and the winner of that game will play the winner of Farmington versus Laurelton Hall. So those games are all tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and the winners will play each other Thursday at 2 at the seed of the higher-ranked team.
Now we move down to RHAM, also known as RAM. They will take on number 20, Pomperog. Pomperog getting a 3-1 victory over Ledyard in the opening round. East Lyme a bye. They are the 5 seed, and they will play number 12, Joel Barlow, as Barlow knocked off Naugatuck 5-0 yesterday. Suffield, the 2 seed, they also get a bye, and Wethersfield will meet them, the number 18 Wethersfield Eagles, a 3-1 victory over Bacon Academy. Don, as we move down to Guilford.
Yes, the number 17 Guilford beat number 26 Brookfield 4-0. They will take on the Panthers of Massac High School. Massac with a 4-1 win over Woodstock in the 10-23 matchup. And then looking a little bit deeper down the bracket, number 3 Immaculate with the bye. They will take on Avon, which defeated Sheehan 1-0 in their first round game. And then finally, Berlin, number 6 with the bye. They will play East Haven tomorrow. East Haven beat Bristol Eastern 4-2. That game will be at Berlin at 6 p.m.
Let us roll down now into Class M quickly. Woodland with a bye, excuse me. They're the top seed. They'll play Rocky Hill, who got the victory. Penalty kick victory there, 5-3, and they knock off Oxford to get the win. So a 16-17 matchup. Rocky Hill Woodland is the next up. After that comes Watertown and Stonington. Watertown beating East Catholic 4-0. Stonington a 2-1 win over Granby. As we move down, Don, to Nonawag next.
Yes, Nonawag with a big win, 5-0 over Seymour. They will play Ellington, who defeated Haddam Killingworth 3-0. Then moving a little bit farther down the bracket, Tolland will match up against Enfield. Tolland beating Griswold 5-0. Enfield with the 2-1 win over Plainfield. That game tomorrow, the Nonawag-Ellington game tomorrow, 2 p.m. at Nonawag, and then 4 p.m. at Tolland for Tolland versus Enfield.
Tolland getting a bit of an advantage there, but that's the way it goes. The home games being played at the sites right now, as we haven't gotten to the neutral sites yet. All right, next up, number 2, Lewis Mills. They will play Valley Regional. Valley knocked off Platte Tech 8-0. Bethel and Walcott will meet as well in a second round matchup. Bethel 1-0 over Morgan. Walcott a 2-1 win over Killingly. And the final portion of the bracket, I'll finish it out as we roll on to the next bracket. It's number 3 Northwest Catholic against number 19 East Hampton. Northwest Catholic over Cromwell 4-0. East Hampton a touchdown win over Bullard Haven 7-0. Waterford a 3-1 win over New London, and they will play Weston, the Trojans, a 2-0 victory over Northwestern. As we turn our attention finally to Class S.
In Class S, the top seed Housatonic at a record of 15-1. They have a bye into the second round. Well, they will play Coggins. Coggins defeated Somers 5-1 in the 16-17 matchup. The winner of that game will play the winner of Holy Cross and Windsor Locks. Holy Cross, the Crusaders, with a 2-0 win over Litchfield. Windsor Locks defeated the co-op HMTCA 3-1.
Well done.
Not even going to guess.
Nope, don't bother. Down to Coventry, the 4th seed. They have a bye. They will take on St. Paul, who beat Norwich Tech Holy Family 8-0. Old Lyme also will bye as the 5 seed. They will play East Windsor, the 21 seed. They knocked off Wyndham Tech 7-0. Capital Prep, the 2 seed, gets a bye. They will play number 18 Notre Dame of Fairfield, as Notre Dame of Fairfield beat St. Bernard 4-1. Finally, we get down to Parish Hill. They will play Portland. Portland, the Pirates, with a 4-0 win over MLC. And the last group, Don, Med-Ed Prep will play Terryville. Terryville, a 1-0 win over Putnam. And then down to the very bottom with Tortolet, I believe is how you pronounce it, at least I hope so. They will play Bolton 5-1. Bolton beat Lyman Memorial as we round out girls soccer.
Correct. Yeah, a lot of intriguing matchups and should make for a great championship weekend.
It should, as we will turn our attention over to boys soccer here on this edition of Nutmeg Sports. And, you know, we've seen some pretty good boys soccer already. We've got some other games going on around the region, in fact, throughout today as they get underway. So, you know, how well will the FCAC represent themselves? Let's find out.
Well, I mean, history says pretty well. As I mentioned earlier, quite a lot of these are of the coveted, SCC, FCAC crossover variety. Where on the boys' side in Class Double-L, we have Glastonbury with the bye. They are the top seed actually in Double-L in boys and girls. But then we have some intriguing matchups. We have West Haven, the SCC champ, taking on Fairfield Ward in a 16-17 matchup in the first round. Cheshire will host Trumbull today at 6 p.m. in an 8:25 matchup. So a couple of interesting games right off the bat there.
And then you got Newtown and Simsbury. That's Newtown, the Nighthawks, and the number 9 seed. Simsbury, the Trojans, are the 24th seed. South Windsor is the number 4 seed. They will play number 29 Norwalk. Staples is 20th. They will take on Hall. That's at Hall up near Hartford, the 2013 matchup. That's a 4 p.m. start. And East Hartford, number 5, will play the numbers 28 Bridgeport Central Hilltoppers. That's at East Hartford. The last group I'll do is Southington, the 12th seed. They will take on number 21 NFA.
Right, and then the number 2 seed New Milford has a bye. They will host the winner of Wilton versus Shelton, the 15-18 game that going on today at 6 p.m. at Wilton. Farmington and Hamden in the 7:26 matchup, and Danbury Wilbur Cross, yet another SCC FCAC matchup, that at 2 o'clock at Danbury, and Fairfield Prep Bristol Central at 4. Fairfield Prep 13-2-1 there, the 3 seed taking on the 30th seeded Bristol Central, and an all FCAC matchup, Fairfield Ludlow versus Greenwich today at 5.
I love that game, and that is too bad that somebody has to go home in the very first round because the Cardinals have been pretty good all year. Now, they've struggled a bit with some injuries. Fairfield Ludlow, obviously, we know their pedigree, given what they did in the FCAC championship game. I love that game, and it's a shame that that's a first-round matchup.
Yeah, that's just the way it works out sometimes with the seeding and the records. That just, that's a quality of that game could easily be for the championship. We're getting it in the first round, so that's definitely a tough game right off the bat for both of those teams.
Fortunately, they play on turf field, so at least they'll have the good drainage at Fairfield Ludlow, and that's a brand new turf field there, in fact. The last couple, Crosby, the 6th seed, takes on number 27 Conard at 2 o'clock. In fact, they're just underway, and Darien and Ridgefield are underway at Darien High School. If we get a score, we will let you know.
Rolling on to Class L, starting at the top of the bracket, Suffield with a bye. They will take on the winner of Ram and Cheney Tech. Bethel also with a bye. They will face the winner of yet another SCC FCAC matchup, Bassick the Lions. A battle of lions, actually. Bassick
that's right.
versus Foreign in the 9:24 matchup. That is today at 6 o'clock at Kennedy Stadium.
Now you've got Harding, the number 4 seed, Warren Harding Presidents. They will get the winner of Berlin and Maloney. That's a 2013 game, and that is at 6 o'clock. Weathersfield is a 5 seed. They will get a bye into what would be Thursday against East Lyme and Pomperog. East Lyme at the 12 seed, Pomperog number 21. Don to Daniel Hand.
Daniel Hand, the 2 seed, will get a bye into the second round, where they will face the winner of Platt Tech and New Fairfield. Barlow also with a bye. They will host the winner of number 10 Naugatuck versus number 23 Lyman Hall. And the university, I think it's the university, it's like SMSA Sports University and Prince Tech The 3 seed will get a bye into the second round against the winner of Avon and Bristol Central. And finally, E.O. Smith with a bye. They will face the winner of Guilford and Woodstock.
All right. Now we move on to Class M in boys soccer. You've got Lewis Mills with a bye, and then they'll play either Norwich Tech or Ellington in a 16-17. Wyndham Tech and Caner Tech playing, with the winner of Northwestern and Stonington. Tolland, the 4 seed, will take on Walcott Tech in the 429 matchup, and they'll play either Ansonia, right up the road from us, or Woodland in the 2013 matchup. Watertown and Weston in a 528, and Plainville and Killingly in a 1221 matchup. Don, over to Nonawog.
Nonawog, the 2 seed, has a bye where they will face the winner of Granby and Seymour. Also in the first round, Waterford will take on Sheehan in the 26 versus 7 matchup. Wilcox Tech and Rocky Hill. And moving down the bracket now, we have Bacon Academy versus Wolcott. That should be underway now starting at 2 o'clock, and Valley Regional versus Wyndham, starting up in a little bit at 4 o'clock.
Last couple of games, Montville against Bullard Havens, and Abbott Tech and Brookfield. And last, but certainly not least, off to Class S.
Off to Class S, and hang on a second as I was...
Morgan, the top seed.
I was checking the Twitter. I was checking Twitter scores.
You check the Twitter, I'll check the brackets. Morgan's the top seed. They get that Tortolot or Wamogo. I know how to say it. That's the winner there in a 16-17 game. Then there's Somers and Amistad. That is at Somers, the 825 game. St. Paul and Aerospace in the 924. Two Rivers and Coggeshall is the 429. They'll play either with Litchfield or Windsor Locks. Notre Dame of Fairfield is number 5. They'll play number 28 Northwest Catholic. Number 12 Old Saybrook against number 21 Terryville. Coventry gets a bye. They are the 2 seed. 15-18 matchup is Bolton and East Hampton. Lyman Memorial will play Haddam Killingworth, the 726. Oxford and East Granby is the 1023. Old Lyme and Portland, the 330. They'll take on the winner of Cromwell and HMTCA, the 1419. Canton and Holy Cross in the 627. And last, but not least, number 11 Griswold, number 22 Parish Hill. Don, any updates?
There is actually, and it's a rather significant one from our perspective. Darien has taken a 1-0 lead over Ridgefield, according to Scott Erickson. Martinez, brilliant slide tackle, then blasts a shot from 20 yards out. 1-0 Darien.
That is the perfect way to go out. As I look at Eric Gendron and I say, Pablo! All right, we'll take a break here on Nutmeg Sports. Every time Pablo Martinez touched the ball for the past 3 games that we've seen him, the crowd would just yell Pablo. That's why we do it. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More of Nutmeg Sports right after this on the HAN Network.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at the Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. 102,000 viewers have enjoyed the HAN Network in just the last 6 weeks. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. I've always said for years, whenever I've done a show, some of the off-air stuff I always wish I could just record and put in a bag somewhere, in a time capsule. Great stuff there as we're talking about yacht rock songs, and then A.J. Simonowski with a quick, like a cameo appearance.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the chicken in Family Guy. Just every once in a while, just pops up once in a while, throws some punches.
That's well done.
Away he goes.
But you missed nothing. Welcome back, everyone. All right, we're diving into volleyball, and again, we look back to Saturday and just how much fun we had with that great volleyball match, and it was a great match, despite it only being a 3-1 victory for Fairfield Ludlow. The significance and the drama in that building, it really kind of sets the tone for this tournament. And we start in Class Double-L, where right off the bat you get now a 117 matchup with Darien and Staples. Staples having knocked off Shelton yesterday 3-0, and Darien getting a bye, of course, into the second round. I mean, Darien is going to be looking for some retribution off that FCAC championship.
You have to imagine they're going to come out motivated and angry. And Staples, they're certainly talented enough to compete with Darien. Will they be able to match the intensity? That's what it's going to come down to.
And I love, as you and I have talked about, seeing matchups that come kind of across the state. Newington and NFA. Newington won 3-2. Fairfield Ludlow knocked off Hall 3-0. So you get NFA having to come all the way down 395 and out 95, come down to Fairfield Ludlow and take on, and they're going to love this down in Fairfield, the 2015 FCAC champions.
Yes, NFA, and enjoy the traffic at 6 o'clock on a weekday. So, but that should be a great matchup. I mean, NFA, the 25 seed, knocked off Newington at Newington. So, they get on a roll. Who knows what can happen?
Cheshire is the 4 seed. They will take on the Trumbull Eagles. The Eagles beat Newtown 3-1, so a 4-13 matchup. And again, that's tomorrow at 6 as well. Number 5, Glastonbury will take on number 12, I beg your pardon. West Haven, they beat Kennedy 3-1. As we move across the bracket, Don, and we find the Amity Spartans in the 2 spot.
The Spartans of Amity, record of 18-1, will take on Fairfield Ward. Ward defeated Stamford 3-1 in an all-FCAC matchup. We will now get an FCAC-SCC matchup in round 2. The Spartans and the Mustangs, and then another all-FCAC second-round game. McMahon, the 7 seed with the bye, they will play Greenwich, which defeated 23 Bristol Central 3-0. And finally, for me, Southington will play Simsbury in the second round, and Ridgefield with the bye will take on South Windsor, a 3-1 winner over New Milford.
All right, off to Class L we go in girls volleyball. And as Don said, it's a great time of year. You get RHAM off the very top of the bracket. They've got a bye into the second round. They'll play Brantford, a 3-0 victor over Woodstock. Number 8, Guilford, and number 9, Pomperock both had byes. They'll meet in the second round. Barlow, a 4 seed, they get a bye. Naugatuck beat Laurelton Hall 3-0. You get Barlow and Naugatuck Hall, or Barlow and Naugatuck, no Hall in the second round. Farmington, they get a bye as well. They will take on Brookfield, a 3-1 victor over Maloney. As we move on, Don, throughout this bracket, I'll let you jump in from there.
Fitch, the number 2 seed with a bye into the second round, will play Daniel Hand. The Tigers knocked off Mercy 3-2 in a 15-18 matchup. Platt of Meriden, the 7 seed with a bye, they will play East Lyme, a 3-0 winner over Hartford Public. Torrington, the 3 seed with a bye, they will play Avon, a 3-0 winner over Sacred Heart Academy. Bristol Eastern and E.O. Smith will match up in the second round. E.O. Smith defeated Bunnell 3-0 in the first round. We just also have just a couple of updates from around the boys' soccer that was going on. Simsbury, Newtown, scoreless in the first half. Shots are 3-2 Simsbury, that according to John Chick. Bacon Academy 1, Wolcott 0. Colby Decker with the penalty kick. And as we mentioned before, Darien with a 1-0 lead in their game against Ridgefield so far.
All right, we move to Class M in volleyball. Woodland to bye, they will take on Tolland. Tolland knocked off Prince Tech 3-0 in their first round matchup. All these second round matchups will be on the 11th at either 4:30 or 6, give or take. Then you've got Rockville beating Northwestern 3-1 and Nonawag over Caner Tech 3-0. So number 25 Rockville against number 9 Nonawag in the second round. Waterford gets a bye. They will meet the St. Joseph Cadets, who beat Suffield 3-0. I believe that's Suffield Academy 3-0 the final score there. So a 13-4 St. Joseph moving on. on. Granby, the 5, they move into the second round. They will play the Weston Trojans, a 3-2 victory over Sheehan. Bullard Havens, the number 2 seed, they move on rather, as Haddam Killingworth HK beat Plainville 3-1. Don, pick it up with Ellington, the 7 seed.
They have a bye into the second round where they will play Foreign. Foreign, the 23 seed, beat Plainville 3-1. Wilcox Tech into the second round against Lewis Mills, who knocked off Montville 3-1. East Haven, the 6 seed, will play Killingly. Killingly defeated Berlin 3-1 in their first round game.
And with all that said and done, we move on now to Class S.
The home stretch.
The final bracket. Starting with a couple of locals. Seymour over Canton 3-0. Ansonia over East Catholic 3-0. So you get the top seed Seymour having to play a first round match, no bye. They'll take on number 17, the Ansonia Chargers.
All NVL matchup in Class S.
Exactly. Party in the Valley, a 17-1 matchup, and that is on the 11th at 6 o'clock. Move down the line, East Hampton beat O'Brien Tech 3-0. They will play Notre Dame of Fairfield, who beat Amistad 3-0, so an 8-9 matchup there, staying chalk. Lyman Hall, the 4 seed, knocked off Holy Cross 3-0, the 29 seed, and they will play Valley Regional, who beat Med-Ed Prep 3-0, so that's a 4-13 matchup, Don.
Yes, and it stays, as you were mentioning, it stays chalk pretty much to the bottom part of the bracket also. Abbott Tech, the 5 seed, with a 3-0 win over MLC. They will play Morgan, who beat Norwich Tech 3-0 in a 12-21 matchup. Coventry, the 2 seed, beat number 31 Wolcott Tech 3-0. And Northwest Catholic, in a slight upset, Northwest Catholic losing to Trinity Catholic, the only FCAC team, I believe, in Class S. That was a 3-2 game, 15-9 in the final.
Now we move down to Wheeler. They beat HMTCA 3-0. SMSA, the 10 seed, beat Griswold 3-0. Hale Ray, the 3 seed, over Coggeshall 3-0. I always like to be able to say Coggeshall. They will play number 14 Goodwin Tech. Goodwin Tech knocked off Wyndham Tech 3-0. And Bolton over Capital Prep 3-1. Oxford, the 11 seed, beat number 22 Cromwell 3-2. You get 27 Bolton, number 11 Oxford. Looking forward to following all these brackets and seeing what comes out of them.
You know, it's a lot of fun. I mean, you get some upsets because you have these teams from various parts of the state that haven't really played each other, and or they don't even really have any common opponents. And so you don't really know how good everybody is. That's why you play the games. We have just one other quick update. St. Paul Falcons boys soccer game against Aerospace Academy has been moved from 2 p.m. to 4:30. That game at St. Paul Catholic High School, gotcha. SPCHS. The acronym got me there for a second there.
All right, Don. We'll take one more break, come back, start putting a wrap on this edition of Nutmeg Sports. Stick around with us. We come right back right here on the HAN Network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Do you do a lot of running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Attention here on this Tuesday edition to field hockey, Don. We won't go through the brackets today, but there is a matchup, qualifying round matchup, and then there's one I want to get to for a potential big game heading into the weekend. Don, I'll start with you for that preliminary.
Well, I saw the qualifying round. We had NFA losing to Hamden 2-1, Newtown 3-0 over Amity. That in Class L. We also have a couple of all FCAC matchups in the throughout the bracket, but I'm trying to think. But yes,
Don's trying to guess where I'm going.
trying to guess where you're going with this.
And by the way, in Class M, you've got Brantford and New Canaan. That's tonight at 6 over at New Canaan. However, I am looking at Class L and looking down, or rather Class L, excuse me, because they play LM&S. Looking down the line, you've got Darien and Newington tomorrow at 2, 3:14 matchup. You've got Wilton and New Milford tomorrow at 2 at Wilton in a 6-11 matchup. If everything stays chalk there, Darien, Wilton, they've already given us a dandy 1-0 last week for the FCAC championship. They would play in the second round. I love that matchup.
That would be at the higher seed, which would be Darien. So we'll mark it on your calendar, November 13th. Time TBA. It'll be at Darien. So and yes, you're right. That of course, in hindsight, it's obvious now, but that would be a dandy.
Yeah, it was obvious as I went through the bracket. Doesn't mean jumped out to everyone. But if all goes the way that it could, because I'm not overlooking number 11 New Milford, and I'm certainly not overlooking Newington as well. But Darien has 1 loss on the year in total. 2 to be exact. 1 in the FCAC championship, and they lost, of course, to Lakeland Panas, which is the top team in the country. And an out-of-state game, I mean, it counts on your record. It's kind of hard to knock the Blue Wave for that loss, but that'll be a terrific game. Second round on the 13th and 14th, then the semis, rather, on the 17th and 18th, with the finals on the 21st. And Don, that'll do it for this edition of the program. Already. Time flies by. See you tomorrow, maybe.
Possibly. More likely you'll hear me.
I like when he gives me a possible. That means he may take a break, stop over, and talk sports with me. That'll do it for Nutmeg Sports today. Thanks for watching on this Tuesday edition. Back with you tomorrow, of course. We've got football coming up this weekend. Darien and Staples to see who's going to play in the FCAC championship game. That game now at 1 o'clock. We'll start our day a little bit earlier with a more condensed version of Tailgate and FCAC game day as well. For Eric Gendron directing, Donald Eng across the way, our entire HAN network crew, I'm Rob Adams. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Nutmeg Sports. Coffee break starts your day at 11. We'll see you then. So long, everyone.